This video is about how to find your soulmate. Now, the first thing that I think is a misconception that I want to clear up right now is there isn't just one person for each person out there. Okay, it is not the case. It is not true that there is just one person for you that's perfect. And I actually, in my opinion, I think that's a good thing because you haven't met them yet. If you're watching this video, you're looking, and that means you haven't met them yet. So what happens if there is just one person? What happens? What does that mean? Well, before you meet them, they could die in a car accident. They could get an illness and die. Something could happen to them where they're no longer there. And if they're the only person, where does that leave you? That leaves you without them. So I like the fact that there's not just one person. There are many people out there who would be really good with you in a healthy relationship as long as you're ready for that healthy relationship. That's always what I say first. You need to be ready, emotionally ready. If you're not, it doesn't matter because you need to work on yourself until you are. But if you are, that's good. And there are many people out there, and you're not going to meet every one of them. Could you imagine what that would be? That's a good thing too. Could you imagine what that's like? You know, meeting 10 people who are all good for you. That's not a place you'd want to go, I don't think. So basically, what is a soul mate? Okay. You know what it's like to meet somebody who you basically feel no connection with. I mean, a reasonable conversation is hard work. Not because there's anything wrong with them or anything wrong with you, just like there's no connection. There isn't a connection and both of you feel it. With a soulmate, it's just the opposite. There is when we use the word soul, we're talking about a very foundational, deep level, core level place. That's what we're talking about. And a soulmate is somebody who at that place and from that place you have an established connection with even before you meet them. And when you meet them, you can feel it. It's like, wait a minute, everything's easy with this person. The communication, we seem to get each other, we seem to understand each other, we seem to be in the same place, and it's just so easy to be with that person. And remember, they're human too. That means they have weaknesses, they make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. The only person who deserves a perfect person is another perfect person. And I don't think perfect people exist in this world. I don't, which is kind of the point of being here, to experience our imperfection. So the soulmate is someone who you have that deep level connection already established with. You don't have to build it when you meet them. It's already there for you to discover and enjoy. In my opinion, that's what a soulmate is. Now, to make life better when you do meet that person, you need to be ready to meet that person. In other words, you need to be able to own who you are. In other words, no past traumas that are unhealed. No deep regrets that preoccupy you, nothing heavy going on that would get in the way of you just naturally being you and being willing to connect. And it's also best if you're willing and able and you want to let that person in close to you when you meet them. And I mean very close, this emotionally close. This is who I am. These are my weaknesses. These are my strengths. Because I'll tell you something. The most important part of meeting somebody is figuring out their unpleasant side. Everybody's got one. If you can work with their unpleasant side and be with their unpleasant side, you got it made. Because their pleasant side is easy. That's why they call it the pleasant side. Okay, so how do you find your soulmate? And no, it's not about getting online, in my opinion, and doing a search. It's not. It's about something totally unexpected. Okay? Live your life. Follow your inspirations. Follow your passions. Follow your interests. Pursue your passions. Do things that you find interesting. And just be yourself. Seriously. And what that does is it sends out an invitation, an energy invitation that says, I'm available and I'm just being me. That's what it does. And that's all you want to do. And this isn't going to be able to figure it out. It doesn't matter how smart you are. This isn't going to be able to figure it out. The heart figures it out and communicates with you. You'll know when you're in the same room with them. You'll feel it. It's not about a thinking. And you create that opportunity when you just live your life. So don't focus on finding somebody. Don't. I mean, you can if you want to, but it's just going to give you busy work that may or may not help you. But just being you. If you're interested in doing something, do it. If you're interested in studying something, study it. If you're interested in discovering something, discover it. If you're interested in anything, just do it. If it's time for a job change, change it. If it's time for a geography change, you need to move somewhere, you want to move somewhere, do it. If it's time to start reading some books, do it. Whatever it's time to stop doing, because it feels like it's time to stop doing it. Whatever it's time to start doing it. Just be yourself and live your life. And once again, what you're doing when you do that is creating an invitation without regard to who will accept that invitation. This is who I am, you're telling the world. This is who I really am. This is how I enjoy living. This is what I'm doing. It's not future thinking. It's not, this is what I want to do when I have the time. This is what I hope to do one day. It's present moment thinking. Hey, this is who I am. Send out that invitation and just keep sending out that invitation and see what comes back to you, see who comes back to you, see when. And really, that's it. And I know a lot of people are frustrated because, well, that doesn't, I'm used to controlling things. I want to control my world. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to be able to go to the dating grocery store and pick the shelf and pick the person and all that stuff. No, let them pick you. Let them find you. Live your life and let whoever that person is for you find you. And you'll be easy to find because you're living your life. That's all you're doing. Believe it or not, when you live your life genuinely, authentically, and the way you want to, you become a more fun person for yourself to be around and a more fun person for everybody else to be around. And those who don't like you, and trust me, there will be those who don't like you no matter who you are, you'll make it more obvious to them that, okay, I'm over here, you don't like me, so it's okay, just walk that way. Walk in the other direction. Walk in the direction you need to walk so that you walk further away from me, and that's fine. So you just make it obvious who you are. So stop looking and start living. And you know something? You're going to find somebody else who's living their own lives. And you'll see who they are. Can't tell you when. Can't tell you who. Can't tell you any of the details. But life itself will tell you. My name's Larry.